When assembling the calipers, the first thing I do is file the handle. I use a combination of half round, round and needle files. The needle files I'll use are a Stanley Tools product and they come in for around about $10. They help with the dressing at the end of the splits and sizing the square hole. The closer that you can keep whatever needs to be filed to the jaws of the vise, the easier it is on the file, the work, and you. Here you can see I'm draw filing, which is the file is cutting as I'm pulling it towards me, so make sure you've got the file pointing in the right direction. You might need to move the work out to the side of the vise to chamfer the edges of whatever it is you're working on. The tips of the calipers need to be filed to a half round, so they give an accurate contact patch, no matter where the piece to be measured touches them. Before we can make the rivet, we need to make a couple of washers. We use the washers to size the rivet. I'm going to use some 1/2 inch round bar for my washer. So first thing I'm going to do is file the end dead flat, or as flat as I can get it. Then I'm going to run my file around the outside perimeter just to get rid of any burrs. And then finally I'm going to divide it and try and find center so I can drill a hole in it. This is a tool that I find quite helpful. It's from General Hardware. It's a protractor, a circle divider, a drill gauge and a center finder, and we're going to use the center finder. As my bar is anything less than round, I'm actually going to scribe 3 lines and then have a look and see if my center is between any 2 of them or 3 of them. And you can see in this example that looks terrible. I think my center is off to one side of that, so I'm going to center punch just about there. I give it a good go at finding center with my center punch, and then typically I have to move it around a little bit just to get it back on the money. Once you mark center, we're going to chamfer all the way around the perimeter of the rod. The chamfer will help the rivet head blend in. I like these washers to be fairly thick, so typically I cut them about 1/8 back from the end. Does it matter if your cut is dead square to the bar? No, not really. It's just to your advantage. What is important to me is that the back is smooth because this is a bearing surface. So you can see here I'm protecting a file and I'm just going to rub this back and forth across the tip of the file, which seldom gets used, and I'm going to make the back dead smooth. Here's a comparison, the before and after. So the one on the left is the one that's been filed smooth. Before you start to drill, make sure the piece is actually proud of whatever it is you're going to be holding it under the drill press with. You can see here I'm pushing it onto a piece of plate and then putting on my vice grips or that type of thing. That way it's going to be resting on the surface of whatever you're holding it on under the drill press. The height of your rivet is a variable. So let's say this washer is the handle, and then you're going to have the arm of the caliper, then you're going to have your washer on, and then that is the height, and typically it's 1 to 1.5 up to 2 times the diameter of the rivet is what you need for the rivet head. Making the rivet is easy. We start off with square, we knock these corners off to make it octagon, and then we knock the smaller corners off to make it round, and then blend to suit. For the assembly, I've drilled a hole in a piece of heavy bar the same size as the rivet. I'm going to drop that in, and the shoulders of the rivet will stop it from going through. I can add my handle material, I can add my arm, and then my washer, and then you're going to put whatever heat source you're going to use on that, and then you're going to brad that over. And I'd like the rivet to come to the top edge of your washer, and with the washer having that slight bevel on it, it's going to look like a great big rivet head. An alternate method is to get a stack of washers. The washers are the equivalent height of whatever that material is. So you're going to pop the rivet in, that is now resting on the anvil, then you're going to put on your handle material, you're going to find your other arm, add your washer, putting pressure on this to make sure that it's flat, and then you're going to rivet that over. The issue with this method is that sometimes that bottom rivet head gets a little mushroomed and you're going to have to clean it up with a file before you can put on the second washer and go to work.